hopefully settle this month. So
but that was one where I actually really valued and appreciated that people were helping me behind the scenes. And so for me, the biggest thing was finding the right people who could support me doing that. And like, I think I've seen other businesses in game and other stuff where,
yeah, I don't know what happened with Kyle, man.
It does make sense. Like, oh, here's a person who wants to be kind of like the figurehead of a business. And they have people
watch it
work
on the
from
other
behind the
TV.
scenes. And sometimes it actually even like makes sense in character.
Okay, we put it on here, buddy.
Character April running picture perfect, but not actually running the camera business at all, but basically being the like figurehead of it. It kind of makes sense for, I don't know, a pop star that is basically sells their own branded cameras, right? So I think there are still some instances.
No, I mean,
where it
like,
makes
it's
sense,
just confusing
but
how he says, like, we didn't give him opportunities and there was all this targeted thing to bring him down.
Okay.
It's just strange.
So,
like, the only reason he even became sheriff was because we put him there. He didn't even win the election.
You know?
There was 2 or 3 people above him.
Like
we did it for the content. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Just to see what would happen.
Because
and then when it was his turn to step down and have somebody else step up for content, he took it as an OOC insult
like
rather than us
punishments
trying
for
to refresh things.
criminal businesses or criminals who own businesses.
It's really strange,
who
honestly.
do crime. As much as I love
Yep, I'll put it on for you, buddy.
criminal
One second,
character that I
Chubby.
can't right now because I'm clean. I would love to see there actually be like consequences that if you get caught shooting a bunch of cops, something happens to your business, you know, or you're caught drug trafficking or doing a meth run or something, like something happens to your business. I think that would be really cool. I don't know how that would be implemented at all, but I think like having consequences for that would be a really interesting like RP scenario.
I agree, but I also think in the same breath, it would be interesting if there was consequences for the type of things that we did sometimes. In the sense of like embezzling money or like doing unorthodox things with your businesses. I think if there was a way, because what we often do is corporate crime, and I agree. I do think it would be nice if you could somehow punish the business, but at the end of the day, it's difficult to punish people on the server with entities because people, you know, love their cars and their businesses and it's part of their character. So it is a difficult topic of discussion.
For sure.
But I think financial crimes and stuff like that would be a very interesting aspect of RP. It's just very difficult to implement properly, and it's difficult to do it properly in any shape or form.
And even people that want to investigate financial crimes, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do like a kind of like an admin character. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Fargo. There's a character in there called VM Varga.
No.
That I really like. It's like this British guy who is the spokesperson for a big company, and he comes in and he's creepy and he shows up at weird times all the time. And he has this driving force with him. This aura. And I think it would be cool if there was like a couple of characters on the server like that shows up. You know, like it's tax season now, like, and has the aura of like, okay, well, let's say like G-Man from Half-Life. I'm sure you guys maybe know who that is. Having that omniscient aura of like, okay, I know about what you guys are doing.
Even Tim was
already.
upset.
It's
yeah, listen, like I don't really want to, you know.
When I do, you guys are all done.
I don't know. It's whatever, dude.
I think that.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, like.
The way I see it is, if you get promoted, demoted, personally, I find it strange that you're angry in any way whatsoever OOC in a roleplay server. You know what I mean? Like, you could say that that's dumb, it doesn't make sense in roleplay, but being angry about it just says, I think you're more OOC than anybody else about it. You know what I mean?
Even with leaving breadcrumbs, even with making it like, this is the challenge, I think, with any financial crimes, even with doing stuff like that,
it's not competitive.
Done. And
it really shouldn't be seen that way, in my opinion. That's not to say like all the decisions are perfect at all. By the way,
I'm trying to like. I think part of the problem is like in the like. Let's say like.
I just think, you know, there's a lot of overreaction to stuff as well.
And Rooster's Rest gets taken away from him. Like, I think the problem is that like it causes issues for, like you guys were saying, that there's this weird balance of wanting consequences, but then those consequences affecting other people's RP in a way that like we're not role playing the real world. It's not supposed to be as unfair as the real world. Someone who's a dedicated person working at Rooster's Rest, like we want them to have that RP, and we don't want to like jeopardize that because of, you know, the person on high doing something, right? So I'm curious. One last sort of follow-up question: do you guys have any suggestions for like? Because I've always agreed that like, hey, the mega criminals,
You
gang
made
leaders,
it.
et cetera,
NoPixel, that's
they
crazy.
should have consequences for their business.
I mean, with the, I was serious when I said to Kyle, by the way, that I was willing to let him go up and take over Bass's spot at some point, but I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know if he thought it was like a
Yeah,
joke
there
or
might not be a
something,
good
but
answer to that too. So
I have no idea. I really
yeah, just
don't.
solve this problem right now, Kate, real quick for me.
Well, no, I've
yeah,
thought about
Zoil
this
made
too,
NoPixel,
and I'm just like,
ZOIL.
I
Go ask
don't
him about
see
it.
an easy way for it to make sense. Really, I'm sure there is a way, but it would be difficult.
Cool,
think,
it's definitely not happening anymore, yeah.
If you want people to be okay with an overwhelming loss, you need to
I think,
the expectation of behavior.
a lot of the reason I feel like shakeups are good, sometimes it does actually shake out like drama-oriented people. And ends up calming things down a little more over time. It's not actually a bad thing.
Like their businesses to be around for that whole time. You know, we've gone from